Hello and welcome to another edition of Coffee Talk with immigration attorney Brian D. Lerner. Today we're going to talk about how to get the green card through marriage. Now, the basic way is unfortunately what some people think the real easy way, just to marry a U.S. citizen and 2 steps later you're going to have the green card. Unfortunately, it's not quite that easy. Since 1986, when someone gets the green card through marriage and they've been married less than 2 years, the reality is they get a conditional green card and then they have to um, apply for a petition to remove the conditional residency once 2 years has passed. So I'm here to just give you some pointers and steps on what to expect and some issues that will occur when you apply for the green card. Now, when you marry, this may seem obvious, but the marriage has to be for love, not for the green card. Okay, and if the green card is the only reason that you would be marrying the U.S. citizen, then that will be marriage fraud. And if there's marriage fraud, and if immigration determines there's marriage fraud, then you will not be allowed to get any immigration benefit the rest of your life. It doesn't matter if later you madly fall in love with a U.S. citizen and have 22 children. Um, it doesn't matter. The law is the law. So you don't want to fall into the trap of committing marriage fraud because of what appears to be an easy way to get the green card. In fact, what some people don't understand is the person whom you're committing the marriage fraud with, 10 years down the line might say, oh, by the way, I need some more money or else, I'm going to call immigration. So it never ends. You want to make sure that you do everything you can to make sure this marriage is legitimate. Now, here's some more issues. Sometimes people will walk into the United States on a visitor visa and then 12 days later get married to a U.S. citizen. Well, that's considered fraud because you didn't come to the United States to visit Disneyland and go to New York. Sorry. You went to the U.S. to get married, okay? And that's just plain out fraud. So here's a little something you should be aware of. If you if you come to the U.S. and then get married within 30 days, that's just absolute fraud. Okay, if you get married between 30 and 60 days after you enter, that's presumed to be fraud, but you can rebut it. So, meaning that you might have come to visit Disneyland and then madly fell in love with your spouse at that time, and it was just a spur of the moment type thing. And then, of course, if you get married after 60 days from entry, then the issue pretty much disappears. Now, another thing, when you marry a U.S. citizen, if you entered the country legally, but you have fallen out of status, and assuming you're not in deportation proceedings and you're still in the country, you do qualify for an exception to adjust status in the U.S. even though you have no status. So that is a very good thing to know. So, of course, you have to have entered the country legally. You could also be under 245I. Now, and that's a subject for another video, but as far as the way it works is once you get married and you file the adjustment petition, immigration, may interview both of you together, may interview you in separate rooms, and so forth. And the green card movie, the one where they ask what color toothbrush your spouse has type thing, they may ask some of that. I had a case once where they said, what was the last vacation you went on? And they interviewed them in separate rooms and they both gave separate answers, but it was a legitimate marriage. They were just nervous. So I was able to rectify that situation by submitting a declaration on what exactly happened and why it occurred in that way. So it's not the end of the road if you do answer differently, but of course you do want to be prepared, and As it gets closer to the interview, make sure you have more joint documents. Get joint bank accounts, joint taxes, joint medical insurance. Do all that stuff. Put both your names on the rental agreement, and so forth. And then for the next 2 years, of course, I mean, hopefully you'll be married forever. But for the next 2 years, try to continue making the joint documents, and you should have a relatively easy time getting the petition done to remove the conditional residency. We will do another video, and I've already done some on if you get divorced or if there's abuse, or if the marriage goes downhill but it was initially a legitimate marriage, how you can remove the conditional residency. But for this particular video, um, I've given some good tips on how to properly submit the marriage petition and go from there. We'll do more on the coming videos. Thank you.